I think we've spoken before, and while my dad was also here, so I remember mentioning that my goal for my career is to go in the space industry. And
Mhm.
back then, I was interested in physics and astronomy. But I've entered my first year of university, and I'm taking some of those courses right now. And I'm not able to envision myself in space through physics now. So my first question for you was, if my end goal is space, then is it better to approach space using physics or chemistry? Because I'm interested in chemistry now.
Doesn't matter actually. Um, as I said, I mean, space in general is a very broad field, and it's not just about physics or math or computers or any branch that you can imagine. Chemistry is a very good subject for space. I will give you one example. So we are working on the electrochemistry of batteries, like what kind of batteries are good for space. So the batteries we use right now in cars are called lithium ion batteries,
Mm-hmm.
and the biggest problem with those batteries is they they can catch fire
Mm-hmm.
in case of some accident happens. And probably you have seen some videos or picture, or if you go on YouTube, you'll find electric car batteries getting catching fire, or electric buses catching fire. So it's a
Yeah.
huge problem for space, because you can't just imagine if you're riding in space and something catches fire, right?
Mm-hmm.
So right now we are looking into different electrochemistry of batteries, and that's a very chemistry oriented work.
Yeah.
For example, batteries, like what chemicals that you will use to make these new kinds of batteries, right? Even the batteries that you use in electric cars, although they are called lithium ion batteries, their composition can vary. So what I'm trying to tell you, or if you look at I think 2011 Nobel Prize in chemistry was given to people who were responsible for making lithium ion batteries. There was a professor called, I forgot his first name, but his last name was good enough. He was from Texas, Austin, and he died actually last year after 100 years. And he was one of the guy who was given Nobel Prize for that. And another professor, his name was Professor Stingatham. He was from University of Birmingham or something, from in US, and he was another guy who they were both given joint prize, Nobel Prize actually, for lithium ion battery. So, and this is just one example from a space point of view. And we
Mm-hmm.
have people that are chemists, that are hired. We have people from backgrounds. Actually, to be honest with you, we have probably more people from chemical background or chemistry background that get hired and work on these problems. I personally feel that chemistry is very fundamental to anything, more than physics actually. That's how I see it. So if you're interested in chemistry, I think it's a wonderful thing, because not many people like chemistry. Like, I don't enjoy chemistry at all, but I think
Mm-hmm.
people who can do chemistry, they can invent new things. Like, for example, a very basic thing, right? How you can make the process of making bread, or process of making naan or roti, is whole chemistry. So what I'm saying is, if somebody is interested in chemistry and make chemistry, they are very good cook also at the same time, because they know the right amount of all these exotic um, masalas or chemicals that can use to create new stuff, right? So I
Yeah.
think chemistry is very useful, very fundamental in my opinion, more than math and physics, and very
Yeah.
application oriented. So if you like it, it's awesome.
When I say that I'm interested in chemistry now, my parents always, they have a point of view that if you want to go into be involved in the space industry, then you're better off with a physics degree than a
No,
chemistry
I,
degree.
I, I disagree. Yeah,
Okay.
I just gave you an example.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely disagree. To be honest with you, actually, the chemistry has the people who know chemistry. They can do, like, for example, material science is all about chemistry. How you create new material is chemistry. How you create
Mhm.
new ceramics is chemistry. And actually, the people who have a chemical engineering background or chemistry background do lot great things, actually, in my opinion. And depends on then what type of chemistry you're looking into, whether it's organic, inorganic, or physical chemistry or whatever. But everything is useful. That's my point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, chemistry is
So,
fundamental. Chemistry is like a basis of who we are. Like
mhm,
anything you look around you is made out of periodic table. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So anything you probably the computer you're using, think of all the chemistry in here, the metals, the plastic, the keyboards, everything, right? And the cars you drive, the buses you use, the batteries you use, the electronic chemistry is huge. I mean, electronics is all about chemistry. So people who are good in chemistry, they can do a lot of great things, actually. Forget just space. That's one thing.
So, in your opinion, like from your perspective, the people you know involved in chemistry through space, how much studies did they require to get into the job? Like just an undergrad, a PhD, master's?
I mean, like any field, like for example, any field, if you want to be the expert,
Hmm.
when I say expert, I mean the expert. You have to go into the depth of it, right?
Yeah.
So that means you have to do PhD. But if you don't want to do go to the depth, undergrad or masters is fine too. But if you want to go study deep, like if you want to win a Nobel Prize, all the Nobel Prize winners you realize by default are PhDs, right?
Hmm.
So that's what I'm trying to tell you. But having said that, if you want to go in an industry and just work, people who have a background in masters in chemistry or undergrad in chemistry do equally a good job. But here is the thing I will tell you is you are better off having a degree in chemical engineering than chemistry,
Okay.
because chemistry is more science. Chemical
Yeah.
engineering is application. Like physics is science, see the engineering. If what I'm trying to tell you is, if you want to go deep into research, then going into chemistry and doing a PhD will lead you somewhere. But having a degree in chemistry, I'll put it this way: a person who have a degree in undergrad in chemistry versus a person who has a degree in chemical engineering, uh, in my opinion, a person who have a degree in chemical engineering has the easy time to find a job versus a person who have a degree in chemistry.
Yeah. Yeah, my goal is that I want to at least do a master's and PhD if required. So I'm not going to leave the school after undergrad.
Yeah,
And so in your opinion, like would a master's in pure chemistry be more valuable than a degree in pure physics? A master's degree?
I mean, there are two questions here you are asking. One, I told you already, chemistry is more fundamental. And then the second question is, so doing a degree in chemistry, in my opinion, is more fundamental versus doing a degree in physics. In my opinion, it's more applied, like you can do things. And then the second question comes, masters versus undergrad. So if somebody is doing undergrad, I mean, masters is useful, but it really depends on what you want to do. To be honest with you, I mean, sometimes master's degree is less useful rather than getting a 2 year of experience in industry. But if somebody is want to do research, in my personal opinion, that's better off to do PhD. Masters, I
My school does have an option that after I finish my undergrad in chemistry, I can go straight into a PhD for 5 years and skip my master's.
which college you are going?
I'm going to University of Toronto.
Okay, I mean, I will suggest you that if you finish your undergrad, do a PhD somewhere else. It's not for many several other reasons. It's always good to diversify, go to different places, do a good job, and there get your bachelor's, and then go to a better place. That's what I
Mhm.
would suggest. But if you like to do, that's up to you.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's the wrong thing or it's not the right thing to do, but if you want to do a PhD, I mean, get a undergrad from your place and then go to another place which is better, and then gives you much diverse experience. If you already
Yeah.
spent 4 years in your university, I mean, for many reasons, as I said, you want to go to other place. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like you will get better exposure. You will learn a lot of things other than just study.
Mm-hmm.
But to be honest with you, your question about chemistry versus physics, hands down, physics, chemistry. If you're interested in chemistry, go ahead, do it. Do a better job. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Your future will be decided on what you are doing good in what subject. Not if you are mediocre in doing physics, is better you go for chemistry and do a better job. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do
That's
what you
that's that's
enjoy.
your decision. But
Yeah.
what I'm saying is, it's not good to be mediocre in something that everybody's doing versus doing something you're really good at and doing excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
And
Uh,
then space is a very diverse, because whenever people think about space, usually they think about rockets. Space is more
mhm.
than rocket. And then they think about, oh, rocket, that means physics. No, rocket is a very small part of what is going on in space right now. Space is huge. I mean, you need people from every degree you can imagine. You need actually lawyers these days for making laws in space. So space has numerous, like space is huge. That's what I'm saying. If you talk to general people, they talk about space and they say rocket and they say physics because that's what they see. But physics for the space is much more than that. It consumes every discipline, everything that you can imagine. So if you are good at something, they will take you.
Yeah.
And chemistry, I think it's the cherry on the top. I mean, from last, I will tell you one thing. In last 1 year, I have invited more people, more professors in chemistry or chemistry related background to give a talk in our space industry versus anybody else. So
Mhm. Yeah, those were like all of the questions that I had for you today.
okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Pandey.
No problem, no problem. Enjoy your time and have fun in school. Okay,
Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
you too.
Bye.
Bye.